What up, Blaze? And welcome to Bourbon Bikes Business, everyone. Blaze, how are we doing today?
Great. So long as my video is working, we'll see. If not, you're going to see a still of me this whole podcast. Well, you wouldn't see me on a podcast anyway. I'm great. I did a short ride in the heat this morning. A little tired, but good. How about you?
I think I've come to the conclusion that deep summer riding is not for me, outside at least. When it's like 195 plus degrees, like
I love it.
I'll take a pass until October.
That's my favorite weather. You like the rain, I like the heat. Oh well.
I do. I like to be miserable in the cold and the wet and the mud.
Not me. No.
Or give me like a 65-degree sunny day. I'll take that too.
But we never get that here in Maryland anymore.
95 and searing sun is not where I want to be. So anyway,
good to be back. Good to be back in the studio. It's been almost a month, so we got to get back on regular track.
We haven't been here in a while.
I've been here. You've never been here. You're always somewhere else other than here.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
My brain is just foggy because I don't know. I've been all over the place this summer. So, in any event, I'm here today. So we're going to talk today about what we did a couple weeks ago. We finally got to do the pants route, and we're going to talk about our experience. And there's a video, a docudrama, might I say, a docudrama, 40-minute docudrama coming out entitled "The Pants Route: An Attempt at Redemption." So look for that in theaters near you, namely YouTube on your computer, because that's where it will be through this channel. It will be coming out right after this episode. It is, Blaze has seen it. He gave me 2 thumbs up on it.
It's great.
So I think it's going to be wildly entertaining for those who either just want to know more about the pants route, what to do or not to do, and maybe not to do it.
or learn about us a little deeper, deep dive.
Oh, we found out a lot about us. All right, so before we get into this episode too deeply, what are you drinking today, Blaze?
I'm almost at the bottom of this one. I haven't had this for a while.
The Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace. Yes, sir.
Are you through your $150 collection yet, or do you still have some of that left?
I got about that much of one more bottle left. It's all gone.
You guys go through your bourbon over there. I don't know. Today, I have something special that I found up in Boston last time I was there.
Oh.
And this is the Penelope Toasted Barrel Strength Total Wine Pick. So it's single barrel strength, toasted Penelope.
Is that good. One of their signatures where they put their name on it, or they just had it there?
No, I don't see any name. No. I mean, Total Wine is here on the label.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
nice. That looks dark.
I got really good ones when I was up there. They got some good bourbon up in Boston, up in Massachusetts.
Yeah, they do. They have a good selection in Central Mass when I go up that way.
Well, I'm going up for the 3rd trip this summer. I'm going up in about a week and a half, so I'll look out for you.
I might go up in August, and I just saw there's a organized ride on the Green River that I do. It starts in Deerfield, Mass. They got I think it's a 40, 62, 110, and 180 all gravel ride.
Blaze,
lot of climbing.
My ass has no more bike riding in it for a while. I'm just going to put it to you that way. So before we get to that, cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
To being back in the office
and
in
the
cool weather.
Cheers to the pants.
All right, Blaze. We talked about the pants route, the training, the nutrition for about 5 months. We talked about getting packed, what bike we're going to take. We talked about the route. We talked about the Dirtbags who did the route. We even had them on the show. After all of that, give me a 3-line synopsis of the trip in your view.
I haven't thought of this, but I figured you were going to ask me that. Most challenging gravel ride ever for me. But thoroughly enjoyed the suffering, actually. And I think I did better than I anticipated. I mean, I knew it was going to be hell. and it was at times, but I enjoyed the hell. It was, I don't know. I enjoyed it. It took us a day or two to reminisce, I think, from when we finished our ride. So I think, I don't know about you, but I had, even sitting there that afternoon, I said to myself, that was fun, even though it was hell. I guess that's.
I've had some time to think about it. When I initially got in the car, when we got picked up, and we'll get into how everything went and so on. We'll get in the nitty gritty. But I got in the car getting picked up thinking, I'm never going to go in those mountains again. And then I had some time to think on it, like all these trips and everything. If the weather was 15 degrees cooler and my bike was 10 pounds lighter, and or me was 10 pounds lighter, and we had a 1 day break between the first 2 days and the last 2 days, I think we'd kick that thing's ass.
If we had that 1 day break, I would have had to find a bike shop, because when I grabbed my bike the morning after we got home, I had a flat tire on the back. And
how's that even possible?
They couldn't repair it either. It was a sliver.
Really?
Yeah, they couldn't repair it. So I had to buy another freaking $100 tire. Which I just
what would you have done?
What would we have done? I don't know. We would have had to put a patch in there, number one, and hope a tube held it. That's the only thing we could have done.
Yeah, that's true. So was that on the sidewall?
No.
Like a slash on
right
the sidewall?
in the middle, in the tread at the base.
In the middle of the tire?
Yeah.
And we got to State College, no problem?
Yeah. I don't know how,
That's
but
so weird.
I filled it with air and it just was spewing glue out. It wouldn't even seal.
I think that was divine intervention, because after it was all said and done, that last day we would have been riding 101 miles in 96-degree heat. There's no way, dude.
No bike
There's
shop
no
there either.
So let's get into what happened here. Let's just look. We're putting out the docudrama that's going to detail in with vivid description everything that happened in the whole trip. So we don't need to spoil too much of it. We don't need to overindulge our listeners. But in a nutshell, this is what happened. We got picked up. We were right on time for the trip. Got some nice dinner before we went to camp the first night.
Thanks to Christina for driving us up.
Thank you, Christina. She was an angel. We got a nice dinner. The first night we got to camp, no problem. A few miles on the bike, easy peasy. Rolled into camp. Beautiful camp spot by the lake. Beautiful lake. Enjoyed a nice fire. Enjoyed a cigar and some talk.
Didn't freeze to death. Yeah.
We survived the night, which was great.
Wild animals.
In the wild. The next day we had 87 miles to ride. Not easy riding at all. We had some hike-a-bike. We had a little bike repair issue with my rack, which got solved. Hit the Dandy Mart, hit the Pine Creek Trail, climbed up to the top of the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon, which was definitely number one on my bucket list. But woo, we worked for that boy.
Thank you so much for that.
Dropped my cell phone in the middle of somewhere after seeing a bear. And thankfully, thanks to some nice people, we got some fresh water from them and found the phone. Managed to make it into, what is it, Cedar Springs or what, the stop on the Pine Creek Trail?
On the Pine Creek was Slate Run. Cedar Run was before that, with the ladies on the porch.
We managed to get in there before the last dinner was served, got some dinner, long hike and bike after that, got into camp just before sunset. Camp neighbor gave us some burgers and dogs, which was awesome.
Angel
got
number
up
2.
Early the next day, did another 70-plus miles, up and down and up and down, some of the steepest climbs I've ever seen.
Great breakfast.
Oh, awesome breakfast at Restless Oaks. Came through, we saw the Pennsylvania Tuxedo, before Macquahatton, what's it called? Woolrich.
Woolrich,
Woolrich, Pennsylvania, came down through Macquahatton, got the breakfast. Huge climb after breakfast. Did a little bushwhacking. Pretty sure that Jake and Andy were playing a trick on us in this whole thing. And then we descended into the skate area, skate park area. What's it called?
FP Winter, and it
Well,
was
we hit RB Winter
Boiling
Skate Park.
Springs, RB Winter, right?
Yeah,
That
but
was
then
after the 6 mile downhill, right?
yeah, 6 mile, and then we had a 10 mile downhill at the very end, and we were getting delirious. And just as we thought we couldn't take any more, we saw the Pope Hattie Tunnel, came through, asked someone where our campsite was.
Right.
The guy told us, "Oh, that's not in Pope Hattie, that's in Pope Valley,
3
3.5 more miles down." We said, "Go F yourself." His wife came over and said, "Shut up, you fool."
I was
and
ready to
started-
kill you and say, Hank, you didn't make a reservation at Poe Valley. I'm going to kill you.
Our campsite was actually about 100 yards away, pulled in, a nice campsite. But at that point, we had enough, and we'll get into some greater detail here, but we pretty much caught it at that point. The next day, the plan was to ride it quick, jaunt out
30
of Pope
miles.
Hattie State Park,
Yeah, out of the valley.
and crash at near State College somewhere and get picked up. Little did we know that it was even more crazy climbing out of Pope Valley. We ended up riding 16 more miles on the pants route, which we didn't even know. Ended up at Homan's General Store, which we didn't know was on the pants was on this route, just by some miracle.
Which
And got
the
what we
miracle
thought-
of the miracle, I would call it the miracle of enticement out of a Boy Scout camp, is the only reason we found Homans.
Yeah, I'll take credit. So I tried to talk Blake. I was done. I was exhausted. We hit. I was totally out of water. We were dying. It was getting hot. And we see before our eyes coming out of this huge climb out of Poe Valley, big Boy Scout camp, huge campus. Has to be water somewhere here. Find water, whatever. Managed to track down water. And I say, Blaze, we got our water. There's no point in riding any further. We're not going to complete this thing. Let's just get picked up here. This is an easy place to put on a map where she can pick us up. Let's just chill, sit under shade, drink our water, and be happy. Oh, well, let's just keep going. I'm really hungry, and I want blah, 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 your usual Blaze self. Blaze, we're on empty. It will take us another 600 calories of effort to get to the restaurant so you can fill yourself of 600 calories. What possible point do you... No, let's just keep riding. It's right over this hill. Always, it's right over this hill. It's just a downhill. It's always just a downhill with Blaze.
On a road.
I will say I'm thankful that we went through with his plan. We ended up in Porter's Mill right outside of State College. And for those who don't know, I'm Nittany Lion. So it's my home away from home. And we ended up at Homan's General Store there in Porter's Mill. Got some of the best food. We got some pasta salad. We got some deviled eggs. We got some
Whoopie
subs.
pies.
We got whoopie pies. We got some cold drink. We sat there all day, basically smoking cigars and drinking bourbon and just waiting for our ride. It was actually turned out to be one hell of a day,
Yeah,
if you must know.
it was great.
So what do you have to add to all that? I gave the rough outline.
Yeah.
Fill in with color.
Say the color was the hike-a-bike up some of the hills that we did in the heat of the day, whether it was first thing in the morning or last thing at the end of the day, just looking straight up, going, it's still going.
Oh, so the two that I remember vividly, the one coming off the Pine Creek Trail at the end of the first day, which was probably, 4.5 miles straight up.
Yeah, that was brutal.
And we were just, we were cooked, we were gassed from the day anyway. But there were white, mile
Holes
markers every quarter mile.
Not even
and
that.
We just went from white
Hold
marker to white marker. That's all we could do.
And drank. We were
and
so
go to the
thirsty.
next marker.
Yeah.
4.5 miles of that. And then the second one I remember
was Woodward.
Was coming out Woodward Gap.
Yeah. Climb.
And it was the end of the day.
Which
and
we
I
knew
think,
it was going to be big.
Yeah, I don't think we were feeling necessarily
Terrible.
all that bad, but it was just so much to take on.
So long.
Again, towards the end of the day, we had a 10-mile descent after that, which wasn't too bad, but that uphill with, I don't know how much your bike ultimately weighed, but I had to have had 30 to 40 pounds on the back of my bike, and I was riding a steel bike to begin with. It wasn't light to begin with. And
we were both pushing 50 to 60 pounds. You maybe a couple pounds more.
That grade, That grade coming out of Woodward Gap had to be above 16%.
I was
Had to
using
be.
muscles that I don't usually use riding my bike. My back was sore. Oh,
So we went back to the mile marker approach on that one
it
too.
worked.
I mean, these things were just
Yeah.
stupid.
That was okay. That was Woodward, and then there was the how about 3.5 4 mile descent to Poe Patty, and that's when you lost sight of me. Tell that story. We're going down.
Oh my gosh. So we finally climbed Woodward Gap, which I don't know how long that was. It seemed to go on
I don't
forever.
know, 2 miles.
I mean, it just kept going and going and going. Finally, we get to the top, and at the top of Woodward Gap, we already know there's a 10-mile descent straight to Poe Patty. No more climbing. We're done with climbing for the day. All we have to do is hang on
So we're
till the
like
very
70
end.
some miles in. Another 10.
So,
That can't be that bad.
at the top of the hill, Blaze looks at me and he says, "Look, it's been a long day. It's kind of dangerous descending like this when you've been riding all day. So let's just take it easy. Let's take a very slow, very Blaze, that's a good plan. I can't believe you're saying this. I've never heard these words out of your mouth. I've never heard you be conservative like this. This is wonderful. Very smart plan." So we start riding, and in typical Blaze fashion, he just starts getting faster and faster and faster, starts edging further and further and further. So we're about 3 miles in this thing, and he's just whooping down here. And I'm thinking, this guy's really stupid. Like, he's tired. We're both tired. We're both borderline delirious. And this gravel is really loose going down here. Like, and you were going probably 25,
Yeah.
maybe
20,
greater than 25 miles an hour.
23.
'Cause I was pushing 20.
All
And
it
you
would
were,
have taken was a deer to run out in front of me, and I
oh
wouldn't
my
even hit the
God.
brakes. I would have just hit him head on.
And I'm thinking, my dear God, I'm going to have to pick this guy up out of this gravel in the middle of nowhere. This is not going to be good. So sooner or later, he gets ahead, and it gets windy. And before I knew it, I lost you. Like,
Cherry
you
Creek
were
was
going-
over on the right hand side. We had Cherry Creek there. There's a creek alongside of
Yes,
it.
Cherry Creek Run, Cherry
Yeah.
Run,
Cherry Run,
what's
Cherry
that?
Creek, whatever it is.
Yeah, and so I had, to this point, I would catch up a little with him around the bend, and I'd catch a glimpse of him, and no, he's not too far ahead. Sooner or later, I lost him. Period. So now I'm in the middle of the forest, and I go past. My computer says turn right. Turn left. There's no left. There's no nothing. But I could have sworn that I heard Blaze yelling, "Hank, back up here." And I didn't see Blaze anywhere. I didn't see a turn anywhere, but my computer's now saying off course, off
You were
course.
delirious too. It wasn't just me. I think you were hearing things.
I came to a screeching halt. And I said, okay, I don't see him in front of me. I thought I heard him behind me. My computer's off course and telling me that I needed to turn left back there. Did I pass him? And at this point, I don't know what to do. If I should go down the hill and find you and have to walk back up if I'm wrong, or walk back up and I never saw you anywhere. So I start yelling for Blaze as loud as I can in an empty forest full of bear. Blaze! Blaze!
I never heard you.
response whatsoever. So I'm thinking you're either dead or you're way far beyond me or you're somewhere. And so I think to myself, Blaze is usually pretty bright in his clothing. I would have seen him had he turned off. He would have been waving me down.
Right.
So I'm just going to keep riding down, and we'll maybe find him in gravel, half dead. Who knows? And eventually, about a half mile further, you had eventually stopped.
With like 3 miles to go, I think I stopped. Yeah.
And when I stopped and saw your face, you were in bad shape. You were not looking right. I've never seen you. Usually, you have a smile on your face after descending like that.
I was having trouble breathing. I was seeing stars, and I was like, I just want to get to the bottom as fast as I can.
Approaching you seeing stars, yeah, just race down a hill on loose gravel. So I eventually caught up to you, and you said, "I have a weird feeling in my chest I've never felt before." And now I'm thinking, okay, how do you call a helicopter to this place?
The helicopter
nothing.
pad was like 30 miles that way.
Oh my God. So he says, just give me a minute. I'll keep riding. So we keep riding down from there. Eventually we got to the Poe Patty Trail that goes right into the park, which was an old train rail
I had to
line.
hang a right at the bottom of that.
And
Yeah.
so So this is the trail that we're on, and you have to go up a slight grade and go on the parallel train trail to get into Popati State Park. And the computer says turn right, and I stop and I yelled for Blaze to stop. Blaze, we got to go up there and get on the trail. No, it's just down here. I'm 100% certain he didn't want to see one more hill that day, and he refused to walk the 5 feet up to the trail because it was an uphill. Blaze, this isn't the path. We got to walk. Look, the path is right there, Blaze. The rail trail is right there. All we have to do is walk up. No, this is it. 10-minute negotiation to get him on the rail trail. And then that rail trail, honestly, even though it was...
My breathing was even worse there at that point.
Yeah, even though it was flat/downhill, it was difficult to ride it. Like, we were just
It
gassed.
was rough.
We were totally
It was rough. Gravel.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have much to eat that day. We had a big breakfast. But then all we had between that and Popati was the Valero.
Right.
And I got a sub. When we stopped for breakfast, I went back to the Subway that was near there, and I had a 12-inch sub made for me, and I put it in my cooler with a nice cold Coke because I knew it was going to be a rough day. But Blaze...
I just had the breakfast sandwich. That was it.
Blaze had a couple breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah.
He didn't want to run back to the Subway 100 feet away. And so I managed with my sub at the Valero. I ate half my sub and saved the other half for dinner. But that's all we had, really, was a half a sub and snacks.
And we get to Popati, and neither one of us wanted to eat because we felt maxed out on
Yes.
electrolytes, salt tablets, salt
juice and
this,
salt
that.
tabs all day. It just makes you not hungry.
I mean, here we are. We drove almost 90 miles and we couldn't even eat. It was just the weirdest feeling I ever had. Sitting there.
I had my half a sub and a cold can of Coke in my cooler saved for dinner.
Right.
And I got into my tent, and you would have thought, like you say, after 70, 73 really
Starving.
hard miles, I would dive into that thing. I was literally forcing it down, not almost feeling like half nauseous because I knew I needed something in my body, but I didn't want it.
I was going to cook beef stroganoff. You think after that, oh, that would be really good. Fill you up. You'd feel good. I just didn't know. I think I ate one Pop-Tart is all I ate that night. If I ate it that night or the next morning, I drank water. I drank a lot of water. I couldn't even drink bourbon. I thought about maybe I'll have a bourbon. No, I don't feel like bourbon either. It's like, wow.
Yeah. I don't know what that phenomenon is, but
I don't know.
If we do it again, that's definitely something we're going to have to figure out.
I was pushing my body to the brink. That was like doing an Ironman like you've done, I'm sure, the way you feel, just out-of-body experience.
I didn't even feel that bad after Ironman. After Ironman, I had... What'd I have? Like a half a pizza and a full sub. And a bunch of drinks, and I was fine. I took a cold bath and I was good.
My legs were toast. But I figured I'll recover in the morning. I'll be better in the morning. But it's just my mind and my chest and just was not clear. It's weird.
Yeah, my brain was in a fog for 4 days after that ride. And I just couldn't think straight. It was weird.
What else?
So tell me, if we were to do that again, or we did the second half next time, what would you do differently?
I don't know. I think I did a good job on the nutrition. I tried something different with the salt. Between the electrolytes, every other bottle I had salt. One bottle had electrolytes, and then at the end of the day, I just drank water. And I think that got me through. I did the magnesium tablets at night and the Amp Human stuff on my legs with the compression leggings at night. So I don't know that I would change anything. I would try to figure out how to eat more regular food during the middle and the end of the day, I think, or carry some with me, because I think you feel a little bit more normal when you eat something that's not freaking a salt tablet or a electrolyte or a gel or a goo or whatever. Sunday for my recovery ride, I did 82 miles on the Gap Trail, and I felt, and I think I just told you before the show, I had my fastest time ever up the mountain and back. I felt like I was flying without my any weight on my bike. And what I did, I had a small sandwich for lunch and flew back down and felt great. even felt pretty good the next day. My legs were okay.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely should have gotten a sub at the Dandy Mart.
Yeah.
You were hurting that
And
day, and I
stopped to
feel like
eat midday to give
you
me.
should have gotten a sub at the Subway too.
Yeah. I think the key is to try to eat something in the middle of the day and stop and take a break. We said we were going to stop
Yeah.
more often. I think the only stop we did was the white poles.
Yeah, we really didn't stop it. I kept saying, Blaze, this would be a good chance to stop. You're like, well, let's just go a little bit further. We hit X, Y, or Z. And we never really ultimately stopped that long. We stopped for dinner the first night.
No. We stopped at the bottom of the downhill before we went into Woodward. Remember? We stopped there. There's a guy, his wife, at that intersection where you sat down. I don't know what the heck you were doing. I have a picture of you on your bike.
Oh, yeah, we stopped for a
But
couple
you're
minutes.
right. We didn't stop very often. Many other We stopped at the Overlook. I mean, we stopped to get the Valero. We stopped at the Mart. And then my finger went like that.
Yeah, have you recovered yet?
No.
Did you go to the doctor yet?
No.
Yeah, so for anyone who wasn't on this journey, which is everyone except for us, we ride into
Dandy Mart.
We ride into Dandy Mart. Blaze is fine.
We almost
come
got
out
killed
of
by
Dandy
about
Mart.
30 septic trucks. Other than that, we got to Dandy Mart coming down the hill.
We come out of the Dandy Mart, and Blaze's finger.
No, we went across the street for you to get glue at the dollar store.
Dollar General?
So you're in the dollar store, and I'm waiting for you to come back to get on the road. And I look down at my hand. I'm like, what the hell's going on with that? It's my shifting finger. Oh, well. I mean,
you overshifted.
I guess.
Shifted too many times in your life.
Yeah, right.
Broke down.
Right.
Huh.
So.
Well, I think, like I said, what I would do differently.
Yeah, what would you do differently?
One, next time, carbon bike.
Yeah. But
2, figure out a way to lessen the load of what I carry. I think I would get rid of the panniers. I would only take a tent and a sleeping bag. I think I would leave behind the pillow and just fill up my dry bag with clothes and sleep on that.
Oh, I needed my pillow. My pillow was a savior for my neck.
I think I would forgo the sleep mat because it's not worth carrying. I mean, it's comfortable.
Really?
But it's an extra thing you got to carry.
Too.
And then I would definitely leave the cigars and the bourbon at home, half the food at home.
Right.
I would probably only take one pair of bibs and one shirt with me and just wear dirty stuff and wash in the stream in between or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I would, like I say, a carbon bike, and I would try to pare it down as much as possible because I was just carrying so much. And on top of that, I was riding mountain bike tires, which I didn't even think about the fact, but I was riding a mountain bike for this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not easy to do either. It's not even a gravel bike with gravel tires. So,
yeah, the only two things that I figured I could have easily done without, I mean, the JetBoil, which I used the first morning for a cup of coffee, and I never used it. So that was on my one fork. That was 2-3 pounds. And then I had 3 bags. I think I got rid of one before we left. 3 bags, humongous bags of nuts and fruit that I didn't touch the whole trip. And that was probably worth the same weight as all my gels and dews and electrolytes. So I could have easily dropped 3 pounds. That's easily 5 pounds there I was carrying the whole time that I really didn't need.
Yeah. I think too.
5 pounds can make a difference. It's like if you drop 5 pounds of your body weight, you feel different climbing. You know.
On that note, I think I would find a calorie substitute that was like a powdered drink and get my calories from that instead of carrying around those shop blocks because those were really heavy.
Yeah, they are heavy. When you're carrying 4 or 5 a day times 4 days, that's 20 blocks. That stuff was heavy.
So if you can carry powder packets with you and get most of your calories from that and then find some subs along the way, I mean, that really reduces weight that you have to carry around also.
I mean, where we were going for the last 2 days, we would have had to carry a sub or sandwiches anyway because there were you're not stopping 3 times a day on those other things.
Yeah.
So
it's just that ride is tough. There aren't many places to stop. You're in state forests in the middle of nowhere for much of the time.
I was looking this morning at their ride they're doing from west to east PA. Do you know they're starting like at Erie, PA, and they're doing the top mountainous section of PA.
Come on.
They're not starting Pittsburgh and going through the middle of the state and climbing over a mountain every now and then. Wait, Google PA Dirtbags and look at the profile of this freaking route they're doing. They're going from Erie, they come down through like where we were, and they're going up to northeast PA to the mountain. They're going through the freaking mountains the whole time. It's like same crap, like.
I want to talk to Jake and Andy again. I don't understand how they did it. I
don't know.
As I said in the video, in that heat, with the weight that we are carrying, I consider some of those roads totally unrideable for the average human, even beyond average human, unless you're an endurance expert.
Or on a snowmobile or a 4x4 or enduro motorcycle is the only thing that's good for.
I just don't understand. Like, we're experienced athletes. We trained up for this thing. We didn't just roll into it. And we didn't have a prayer on some of those hills. And they were long, so they took a lot of time. They weren't just quick bursts where you could get up and over.
The other hill was the one after the Valero Mart. We went down the valley, and then we crossed the river, and we went up that hill. And I think that was the one where the guy came up on the enduro motorcycle standing. I can still picture him going, like over these straight up the freaking hill. And I'm thinking, that's all this road's good for.
Yeah, so these roads, for those listening, these roads were mostly logging and fire roads up in the mountains. And it was eye-opening for me because you see a lot of these mountains as you're driving along the Turnpike and 80 and stuff like that in Pennsylvania. Yeah. And I've always looked at them and figured, like, man, that's just a bunch of undeveloped land and full of trees. Mm-hmm. But when you get up into them, there's roads and trails all through these mountains. Yeah. It was unbelievable to me. There were hiking trails all through in the middle of nowhere. Like, who goes there to hike?
And on top of the mountain, like that Sand Hill, the last day, there were trails going. Like, who's coming up here in the middle of freaking nowhere? It's like,
I don't understand. I just, there was so much of that I didn't understand. It was cool to see things like RB Winter. Like, you're in the middle of nowhere, then all of a sudden you come up on RB Winter State Park, and there's kids laughing and playing on the beach and the lake and families everywhere. And you did find like a couple cool places in Pennsylvania that I had never even heard of even growing up in Pennsylvania. And I would have liked to have seen Raystown Lake because I've heard a lot about it too.
I think one of my favorite sections, and you're thinking about what I remember the most, after we came past the Baltimore Canyon, we're looking down into the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon, and we're talking to the people. Remember we met the guy whose dad worked on the Turnpike tunnels. That was cool. And then you're thinking, another couple miles around the rim. Yeah, I'm like 35 miles through this crap. So
we were climbing for 40 miles.
Exactly. Like, zigzagging on I forget the name of that crazy road that was like back and forth. But we saw a rough grouse and some chicks, and then we went down. We come around the corner, and then I go, bear. And he's like, I'm turning around. And I'm like, hold on. He went around the corner.
No, I wasn't ready to turn around until you said, oh, look, he's coming back this way. Then I said, we're turning around.
So I see the bear come up out of this ravine, cross the road, and disappear because there's a turn in the road. And that's when Hank's like, nah, let's turn around. I'm like, oh, hang tight.
I'm glad you saw it pop out because had he come around that corner and he was right there, that would have been interesting.
But the funny part was, so we waited. I said, hang tight here. We'll just take our time and go around the corner. And Hank's like, no, I'm turning around. No, hang tight. So then I see the bear come back. He comes back from around the corner, and he like sees us, and it's like, oh, jumps and goes right down the ravine again. So I said, come on, let's go. He's down the ravine. So we go down, and sure enough, we go like, I don't know, 100 yards, and we hang a sharp left. Now we're coming back up the other side of the ravine, pedaling as fast as we can, going up the other side of the ravine, going, I hope he stays in the ravine. He's going to come hopping out the left side.
Jesus Christ.
It was funny. But, and then
seeing the bear was cool.
Yeah, and then we went, and then I saw this. We're out in the middle of nowhere. I think we were like 30 miles into this rim trail. There's nothing up there. It's just beautiful mountains, a view every 10 miles maybe of the canyon, like somebody wanted to see. But anyway, so like we saw 3 views of the canyon, which was beautiful, just beautiful. And then, so I passed this thing. I go, what the hell's that? There's like a bar. It says emergency helicopter pad landing. I'm
I
like,
didn't even see that.
yeah, it was like on top of the freaking mountain out in the middle of this 35 miles of gravel in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing out there. I'm thinking, yeah, if something happened to you, you'd have to wait 30 miles for them to come get you from that spot. And then that hill was long going down. It took forever to get back down to the valley floor.
Yeah.
And
It's a 4 or 6 mile descent.
I swear the descents were almost as hard as the darn climb on your wrist and your back and braking the whole time and gravel.
Yeah.
It was just like nuts.
The Pinekton Trail was nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Nice views. There could have been some more places to stop along it. Although I guess if we hadn't gone up to the Grand Canyon, we probably would have seen
The funny
some more.
part was somebody told us, well, Cedar Run, they might have a store. So we get down to Cedar Run. There's an ice cream general store. They're closed. It's like the second day. Tuesday, the week of the 4th of July, nobody around. So we turn around. There's these nice little old ladies at the Cedar Run Inn. And we're like, do you know where there might be a place we can get food or water? They go, or no, I asked her, I said, why? Let me ask you a question. You seem like some nice ladies. Why is it that nobody's open around here the week of 4th of July? It's a Tuesday. There's campers everywhere. And she looks at me. She goes, well, you know, they work all weekend. They need a break.
It's just like 3 months a year to make money. This is the prime weekend of those 3 months, and they're out taking a vacation.
Tuesday, they need a break.
Unbelievable.
So he goes, well, if you get out this late run another 5 miles, they're open till 5. You better get going.
Yeah, and it was like 4:30. And we had 5 miles to ride to get there.
So then we're booking all the way down to Slate Run, and we see the general store. We go in, and we go, oh, great. Can we get a sub? And it's like 10 of 5. Well, we can get a sub, right? No, sorry. The deli closes at 4. Right?
I was about to take someone out at that point. I was going to just throw bags of chips at them.
They did have water, and then the guy was nice. Like, well, if you go right across the bridge, the Manor Inn is open till 7.
Yeah, that place was pretty good.
Yeah, that was great.
Got a nice cool beer and a sandwich.
And then we saw our one angels there, the couple that found your phone and gave me some water in the middle from Bangor.
Boy, that
Pit.
would have been, had I lost my phone deeper back into that state forest, I don't know what I would have done.
I just pictured backtracking 35 miles past the bear and going down to the trail and riding the trail all the way back.
Right.
It'll be midnight by the time we roll in tonight. That's all I was thinking as I was pedaling behind you.
Oh, that would have been so bad.
But I was ready to do it.
Luckily, it was only a
mile and a
3/4 of a
half,
mile
yeah.
back. Well, I mean, it was a good trip.
It was a great trip.
I can't say that I highly recommend doing it unless you're just a total crazy loonball.
Dirtbag.
Look, here's the thing. I will say this. That area was much more what I thought. Like when we went to the Smokies, that's what I thought the Smokies would be like. Remote, but with campers pretty much all around you. Anytime you came to any sort of populated area, there would be campers everywhere and places to stop. That is what I thought the Smokies would be like. So I kind of liked where we rode.
Yeah.
I didn't object to it too much, other than there's some steep climbs, but okay, that's what makes it challenging.
Yeah.
And I will say this. I am not counting out a redemption visit.
Part two.
Either going back and doing the last 2 days that we didn't do, and starting at Homan's General Store and going from there.
I would do that. Heartbeat.
Or
spring or fall.
Trying to do it all over again, but we got to pick a better time than 4th of July week where it's 98 degrees.
I think the fall would be the time to do it. It'd be pretty.
And the thing is, if we only did 2 days, we wouldn't have to carry nearly as much crap.
Yeah.
And we could just kind of go, you know? And in 60-degree weather instead of 90-degree weather, that would make a big difference.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You definitely have a little more energy. So, great trip, great experience. Always an adventure with Hank.
Look, just reminding the listeners, 1, like, share, subscribe, please.
Yep.
And 2, right after this podcast launches, we're going to be putting up the docudrama 40-minute Pants Route, the attempt at redemption. It's going to be going on YouTube through our channel.
Yep.
Please visit that and view that and let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Hank did a great job on the video, so it's really
Thank
good.
you.
We took a lot of photographs. We both took video, and he put some great sound to it. Also, just a reminder, we're looking for guests. Anybody that's into a bourbon of any kind, into bikes of any kind, or a business entrepreneur, we'd love to have you on the show. Reach out to either one of us, because I'm going to be seeking some guests going forward. I'm trying to get Jimmy from Florida on the show still. I got to track him down. He had COVID.
Yeah, Blaze is getting sick of just hearing me, so let's get some other people on.
So that's it for this week. Great to see everybody. Hopefully we're back on track, and see you soon. See
All right,
ya.
peace out.
Later.